ROSLAN and I am from KBA243A. Thank you to Madam for hearing my speech for today. The title for today's persuasive speech is We Should Make Recycling as a Mandatory. To start off, did you know that if you recycle one glass of bottle, it saves enough energy to light a 100-watt bulb for 4 hours, power a computer for 30 minutes or a television for 20 minutes. And have you ever heard that more than 52 million tons of paper were recycled in 2018? That's roughly the same way as almost 350,000 blue whales. Other than that, have you ever heard that recycling one aluminium can save enough energy to run a 55-inch HD TV to watch your favorite movie? Recycling takes material that would otherwise be considered waste and remanufacture this item to create new products. The more people choose to recycle, the greater the impact recycling will have. As a result, it is important that every individual contribute to recycling efforts. For this reason, recycling should be mandatory. For your information, my family and I love to recycle. We already recycle things such as newspaper, aluminium can, steel can and also plastic drink bottle. Recycling being our routine at home, and we also can get money with it and sell to the recycling center. So in this context, we should make recycling as a mandatory as it has a lot of benefits to our environment. The problem nowadays that we need to face off is our landfill has been an eyesore of increasing pile of waste sites which are bad for wildlife, nature, environment and could make a global warming. Landfills is a major source of pollution and there are many negative issues associated with them. Rubbish buried in landfill breaks down at a very slow rate and remain a problem for future generations. The three main problems with landfill are toxin, leachate and greenhouse gases. Organic waste produces bacteria which break the rubbish down. The decaying rubbish produce weak acidic chemical which combine with liquid in the waste to form leachate and landfill gas. Many materials that end up as a waste contain toxic substances. Electronic waste is an example. Waste such as television, computers and other electronic appliances contain a long list of hazardous substances including mercury, arsenic, cadmium, PVC, solvent, acid and lead. Over time, these toxins leach into our soil and groundwater and become environmental hazard for years. Leachate is the liquid form when waste breaks down in the landfill and water filter through the waste. This liquid is highly toxic and can pollute land, groundwater and waterways. Landfill contain vast quantity of substances that are harmful to the environment. Plastics such as PVC and other materials leach toxic chemical as they break down. The third and last is greenhouse gas production is perhaps the biggest environmental threat posed by landfill. When organic material such as food, scraps and green waste is put in landfill, it is generally compacted down and covered. This removes the oxygen and cause it to break down in an anaerobic process. Eventually, this releases methane, a greenhouse gas that is about 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Methane is also a flammable gas that can become dangerous if allowed to build up in concentration. The implications for global warming and climate change are enormous. Composting your food scraps and green waste in a compost bin can eliminate many of these problems. So what's the solution? The solution is we should make recycling as a mandatory because recycling can reduce the needs for landfill. Recycling significantly reduces the need for landfill. The world has changed very much in the past century and the amount of waste we produce as humans is rapidly increasing. The human population has grown and consumers are now making more purchases than before. Changes in lifestyle practices such as eating fast and opting for disposable items means more waste is now being created. This is compounded by the fact that much of the new packaging is not biodegradable. The main purpose of a landfill is to store waste, not to break it down. However, there will still be decomposition of organic waste. Since the garbage in a landfill buried in an oxygen-free environment, the decomposition of organic material is a slow process. In Malaysia, from a total 291 landfill sites in April 2007, about 80% of them reached their maximum capacity by 2010. Other than that, about 112 were not in operation with only 10 sanitary landfills being in operation. Other than that, even though modern sanitary landfills are safer and less of a nuisance than the open dumps of the past, no one likes having a landfill around. In heavily populated areas, landfill space is scarce. When space is plentiful, filling it with garbage isn't a very good solution to the problem. Today, recycling effort in the United States divert 32% of waste away from landfill that prevents more than 60 million tons of garbage from ending up in landfill every year. Furthermore, recycling can reduce both air and water pollution. Human beings are responsible for environmental pollution. Recycling can reduce the amount of waste sent to the incinerator. Incineration produces emission containing heavy metal and dioxin. Heavy metal and dioxin are responsible for global warming and also acid rain. The toxic ash produced also pollutes soil and groundwater in landfill. From this point, manufacturing recycled material save energy and water. It also produces less air and water pollution. Recycling also reduces mining and drilling, which produce air and water pollution. By saving energy, reduces the air pollution caused by with burning fossil fuels such as coal, natural gas and oil, which contribute to the largest amount of energy generated. So, I hope you all understand why we should make recycling as a mandatory after this. Next, according to the research by the University of Central Oklahoma, recycling paper cuts down on air pollution by 73% and water pollution by 35%. For example, recycling steel reduces 97% of the mining waste produced through the manufacture of virgin resources. It also cuts back 86% and 76% on air pollution and water pollution respectively. Additionally, using recycled glass decreases mining waste by 80% and air pollution by 20%. In this context, we can see that when we use recycled material and can be creative, it can give the good effect to ourselves and also to the environment. Lastly, I think that's all for today, and I hope you guys can take something from my speech today. In conclusion, we should make recycling as a mandatory because recycling can reduce the needs for landfill. Other than that, we also should make recycling as a mandatory because recycling can save energy and can reduce both air and water pollution. There is a need for recycling to be mandatory because the world is right now with 60% to 80% of plastic waste on the sea coming from the land won't keep the world healthy any longer. There are so many methods for you guys to recycle material, but it depends on yourself whether you want it or not. Finally, I hope you guys start from this evening can practice recycle material or things, which is start recycling the material with your family first and after that continues to the community. I hope my vision, which is to make recycling as a mandatory, comes true. I end my speech with a quote by Pim Shoemaker. When you put the whole picture together, recycling is the right thing to do. Thank you.